JR, this is James.
James?
Hi, what can I do for you?
Hello? Well, my refrigerator's not working.
Where about in Portland are you located?
Beaverton.
And how old is your refrigerator?
Well, let's see. We bought the house in 2014, so 6 years.
Okay,
and this is the...
Yes?
Well, I was going to say that this is the third time in less than a year that I've had this thing repaired.
Okay.
So I don't know if I just need a new one, or it had something to do with the temperature. And right now, nothing's getting cold. The ice isn't being made. I've got a Frigidaire and those blinking lights inside, you know, where the cold, from the coldest to the warmest setting is. That keeps flashing on both the freezer and the refrigerator.
Oh, you got a power distribution problem, and that gives direction to electrical, electronic, and when it's not doing that, it seems to be working normally. Is it intermittent, or is it consistently doing this after a repair is done?
It's consistently not working, and it's consistently not getting anything cold.
When was the
or making ice.
Okay. When was the last repair done to it, and what did they do to it?
They put in one of those. Okay, the last repair was in. I think it was. Let's see. I had one done in March. That guy did not do a good job. I had to call somebody else.
Okay.
And that was in April or May, and then they put one of those temperature regulator things.
Thermistors?
In.
Okay.
Thermostat.
Yes.
Yes. And that was in May, and it's been fine since May. Now all of a sudden,
5 months later, and now
5 months later, it's doing the same thing. It's not keeping it cold, and the freezer side is not cold enough, and it's not making ice anymore.
I see. And again, what name brand is this again?
Frigidaire.
Frigidaire? Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds like to me a name brand of purchase, a trademark name brand purchase of a, hate to say it, of an LG or Samsung design. And the LG Samsung design, this is what this seems to be indicating, which is a code control issue, which is a thermistor to control board to compressor. And by replacing the thermistor, they changed the value of the coefficient, which the thermistor is what gives the control board its variable resistance to let the control board either turn the compressor on or turn the compressor off, in layman's terms, basically. So basically, something's interrupting the electricity in a particular part of the control board, which is a bridge, an amperage bridge, or an amperage system, which then will regulate when the compressor will turn on or when it will turn off. And it might be an AC/DC design, which would be a converter design. In layman's term, basically, it sounds to me that your electronics are malfunctioning. And the electronics, because they've already replaced the thermistor, and the electronics would be replacing the module that's on the compressor module, or if they don't have a module on there, checking for 12 volts AC or 4 volts DC to the converter. If it doesn't have that design, then it would be the actual control board that has the PCB board converter.
Okay, well, you know what? I don't even understand anything you're saying, so are you trying to tell me that I should get a new refrigerator?
Yes, ma'am. And I sent you some information so that will make the circumstance be more clear, I just text to you some links that explains what's going on with that type of design. Now, I have to be there to verify what type of design it is, but I would rather save you that $135 to come out to verify it, now that I know that you've had service and you were not happy with the service that you received, and 5 months later it's failed again. And so I text to you some general information that will help explain just what I was saying, and it's factual news from a news channel. There are lawsuits being generated for a specific name brand or a specific design. I wouldn't say name brand, because now what's going on in the industry, and it has always been going on in the industry, the trademark rights of our common names that we are comfortable with, well, they purchase various designs, and those designs fail, and across the board they'll have various names on a particular design, and so it doesn't target a name in specific. It's targeting the design, and so I would recommend replacement at this time, but I can come out and diagnose it in person. But I think you'll be better off using your money towards a replacement.
That's what I'm thinking, because I'm already $900 into it in repairs in less than a year.
Oh, it's 5 years.
So
wow, yes.
6 years.
Oh, wow.
I've had it.
Okay. And then there's other speculations as far as when these are starting to show across the nation, because these models have been sold across the nation that have had electronic issues. And this sounds definitely like a coefficient electronic control issue that controls the compressor when it turns on and off. And so the compressor is not getting turned on, and there may be a chance, you can't verify compressors. Unfortunately, you only can take readings of resistance of the internal pump. And so, it will definitely be replacement. It would be opening a can of worms.
Is there a brand that you can recommend that's a good brand that will hold up?
Well, because of what's known more now, the directions of manufacturers and the names of what's available now are the names that they want us to buy as far as what is available. We don't know what problem, and it's always been this way, we don't know what problem we're going to find as a service flash or a recall until after the purchase, unfortunately. And so what is out on the market, those units are going to satisfy our needs for, I would think, 4 or 5 years. This one,
that's what the other guy told me.
Yes, ma'am. And so,
actually, he said 8 years, 5 to 8 years.
Yes. Electronics and the heat that they're not able to tolerate over the years is what causes this problem. When they were making contacts that were fixed contacts and not electronic contacts by semiconductor relays and whatnot, when they were fixed contacts, those appliances were the appliances that last 20 plus years. But the advancement of electronics and the heat that is not able to tolerate over a period of time of wear and tear, that's what we're dealing with, and that's what's causing these appliances to fail within that 5, 8, and they're going to get better with it as time goes by. And the prices are going to reflect in the retail purchase, because now the consumers across the nations are aware of these electronic failures, and they're going to make the difference in the retail sale of these appliances that we've been conditioned to label as nice and high end. they will be a third the cost of what they used to be. So something that you would have spent $2,100 for, you can buy now for right around $1,500. And that's how they're going.
Okay.
And that's how they offset the. That's how they offset the bottom line, as far as there's not a support system anymore to cover those issues under warranty or extended warranty by a predominant service provider. That's where Sears came into the picture at. Well, that's no longer available, and so to offset the labor, they don't put the economics, they don't put the repair in the retail purchase. That's why people get upset. They say, "Well, I spent $2,000 for this." Well, you would have spent $2,000 because they would have put in the service of it in the price. And now that the predominant servicer is no longer there, they cut that price out. They cut that amount out, and now it's a little bit cheaper.
Do you have a recommendation of where I should go buy it? Does that matter?
In your area, the predominant distributors of appliances now in purchase is Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, and then we have our local outfits, which would be Standard TV and Appliance, which I would buy my items from Standard TV and Appliance because they still have a servicing center available, and they are still.
They do.
Yes. They still perform the duties that Sears once did, and so in our area, Standard TV and Appliance makes more sense to do purchase because you're going to deal with one-on-one. You're going to deal with being able to go to a brick and mortar that offers the sale, and they offer the repair, and they will still have access on the corporate level for when there is a design flaw. They'll be able to get that information quickly the way Sears did, and they will be able to be they will be trained still. That's what they say, factory trained. They will still be factory trained to handle the complaints. And so I would say, if you're concerned about the duration of service, I would say Standard TV and Appliance. And there's one out in Beaverton or Tigard. If not so much that, knowing that we're going to get 5 to 8 years out of an appliance, which for the money, $1,500, $1,000, $1,500 versus $2,000 to $2,500, it's still a good incentive of purchase.
Yeah.
And so, but if you are worried about not knowing if that's going to be a engineering flaw in there within the next 3 or 4 years and catching grief once it's out of warranty, then I would say Standard TV and Appliance, because they are still leased a brick and mortar servicing center and the ideal of repairs. That gives us a little bit of insurance.
Okay. Well, thank you.